Barcelona have hired German manager Hansi Flick to become their brand new head coach. Well, at least they have once they sort out their finances, which I think just shows the task at hand for Hansi Flick. He's going to have to try and use some of the amazing wonder kids here at Barcelona. If he wants to bring in anyone of his own choice, he's going to have to sell some big stars. So welcome to rebuilding Barcelona using Hansi Flick tactics on FM24. And as you can see from the starting lineup, we have created 3 Hansi Flick tactics, which are all going to be used in sort of conjunction throughout the season. I do play every single game in these one season rebuilds and tweak these tactics as I go through to make them as good as possible. By the end of the video, we're going to have 3 fantastic Hansi Flick tactics for you guys to download over on Patreon, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. The box standard is a 4-2-3-1, and you can see I'm quite happy with the backline and the goalkeeper. Ter Stegen in goal is fantastic. Araujo as our fullback on support on the right, with Koundé and Christensen at centre-back, with Balde in at left wing-back to be that more attacking left-back, which Hansi Flick does like to use a lopsided defence, and he will be doing that for sure. Now, we're going to be using an anchor and a DLP, and my plan to get Pedri into the team and Gavi is to use a DLP on support in DM. Now, Pedri currently can't play this role at all, so we're going to be teaching him how to do it. We're quite happy with what he can do, to be honest. He's a very good playmaker as it is. Defensively, he's not great, but I don't want him to do too much. I want him to be getting forward, making more direct passes, and being instrumental in that DM spot. Left wing, Ansu Fati is coming back from Barcelona, and we're going to be using him on the left-hand side with Lamine Yamal over on the right, one of the best players on the game to use an FM, so I'm very excited to see what he can do this season. Gavi as a shadow striker in behind Robert Lewandowski, who I am deciding to keep at the club. In terms of the backups, though, it doesn't stop there. You have Hector 4 as your sort of attacking lopsided right back, who looks absolutely fantastic. Pau Gabrassi, who has been an absolute standout sort of coming through the Barca Academy in the last 12 months, alongside Mika Faye, and as the left back as Marcos Alonso. Now, other than Alonso, you've got a bunch of youth academy players filling in our back line for the defence, so that's going to be difficult. You look into DM, we've got Marc Banyal, 17 years of age, and Noah Darvic, also going to be training to play in central defensive midfield. So again, just showing how little players there is at the club. Firmine, I've got as one of the wingers as an option, but trust me when I say this, carry on watching, because this guy is going to become one of the best players in the world. He is fantastic on FM, and I've never used him up until today. İlkay Gündoğan, also going to be a cam/DM, probably going to play more in DM than Noah Darvic, and Noah Darvic will play in cam. I'm looking for a brand new left winger to back up Ansu Fati, but I am happy with Vitor Roque as the backup striker to Robert Lewandowski. You can see also I am looking for a brand new central defensive midfielder, which means who are we selling? Well, Rafinha, I'm looking to sell as there is links in real life. Frankie de Jong, I think, will finally leave Barcelona this summer, and same as well, there's links with Oro Romeu, Sergio Roberto, Inigo Martinez, Iñaki Peña, and Ferran. No, Iñaki Peña is going to probably stay as our backup goalkeeper, so I don't know why he's not in there. And Ferran Torres as well, also looking to leave the club. There are a few people that are rumoured in real life. This is trying to be as realistic as possible. Obviously, Hansi, as I record this, isn't even in charge yet, so I don't know what his transfers are going to be, but we're going to try and do it in a realistic way. We know he likes young players to come up through the academy, and then we're going to add in a few superstars as well. So let's see what we actually went ahead and done, because in terms of money, we've got £2 million. So we're going to have to make some big sales. And well, there were sales, but none of them absolutely massive. Number 1, Ferran Torres leaving off to Al Qasadiya for 25 million. Oriol Romeu left to Al Shabab for 7.5. And Chadi Riyad, rather than going to Crystal Palace like he is in real life, has ended up at Manchester City, which I think just shows the level of player Palace have just signed. So that only got us £37.5 million, and there is a few other sales going ahead as well. But most of them were loan deals, and I simply done it to try and be as realistic as possible. Now, selling Frank de Jong on loan to Celta Vigo doesn't really scream realism, and I do apologise for that. I offered him out every single day to brand new clubs. I pretty much told him I didn't want him, tried to get 60 million for him, and I went on holiday when I deal with the transfers and try and get everything done as quick as possible, and he ends up going to Celta Vigo on loan. Very odd. They are paying all of his wages, and I've got an optional future fee of £35 million. But not the greatest of sales. We loaned out Rafinha as well to Manchester City, but a very similar scenario. They're paying us £1.2 million, and then have got an option of 24 at the end. So Dino Dest left to Al Qasadiya for 4.9. And other than that, no one else really left the club. So there was only really money to bring in 2 players. and one of them was going to have to be on mega installments. So welcome the cover star Joshua Kimmich to the club. Now, yes, this guy is linked with Barcelona. He is linked with relinking up with Hansi Flick. We have just done a Bayern Munich rebuild, and I decided to keep Kimmich at Bayern Munich. Well, now I'm going to sign him here at Barcelona. Which one is realistic? I don't know. I actually think there's probably a 50-50% chance. We have sold all of them players to gather enough money to bring in Joshua Kimmich, and I think it's something that might happen in real life as well. That's why we went with Frenkie de Jong leaving rather than keeping him at the club. I don't think there's a world where you have Kimmich and Frenkie de Jong in DM. If they do, they're selling some more TV rights. We can't do that here on FM. It was very expensive. We had to pay 120 million. Ignore the money. There's not really anything I could do about the money side of things in terms of these realistic moments. I had someone comment on Everton one the other day, how we signed Gibbs White for like 25 million and he's at least a 40 million pound player. The finances on FM are not always correct. He is nowhere near 120 million, but to get it done, that's what we done. We built the realistic tactics. We're signing realistic players. The money might not be there, but what a player it is that we have signed in DM. And our final signing is Matias Arezzo, signed from Granada, a Uruguayan young 21-year-old striker. This guy used to be one of the hottest wonder kids on Football Manager when he was over at River Plate. Ended up coming over to Granada in Spain, hasn't exactly smashed it, was on loan at Peñarol last season. And we've decided to bring him into Barcelona to see if we can get him ticking. So he is going to be our backup striker, which means that Vitor Roque drops to our backup left winger, Ilkay Gundogan, Fermin, Darvic, Bernal, Marcos Alonso, Mika Faker, Brasi, Hector Ford, Iñaki Peña, and Eric Garcia as well. I've decided to bring him back in on loan. So we have got Cabrasi, Mika Fate, and Eric Garcia as our backup centre-backs. So we should be okay there. Starting team, Ter Stegen, Araujo, Koundé, Christensen, Balde. Kimmich as our anchor man is wonderful, with Pedri as that DLP. Lamine Yamal, Gavi, Fati, and Robert Lewandowski. I think we've created some fantastic tactics, a fantastic team. Where are we going to finish? Now, I'm predicting we end up winning the Spanish Cup. I'd like to win that, possibly the Spanish Super Cup. And of course, we are battling against one of the world's best teams in Real Madrid, who are favourites. They've got a fantastic team. I don't know what signings they've made. Let's just quickly check that out, as this is going to be our competition. Just Thomas Partey and Endrick coming in. And other than that, I don't think Atletico Madrid are going to be challenging us too hard for the title. It is going to be a two-horse race. And can we win it? Champions League as well. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a run at that one. I'm not expecting anywhere near winning it. We have got way too many youngsters in this side. But let's get into this Barcelona one-season rebuild. Now, of course, with Hansi Flick in charge, we are playing high aggression, short, tiki-taka football with that ultimate Gegen press. And you can see there, making it 1-0 against Valencia on the opening day. And Lewandowski making it 2-0. But what is most impressive about this first game of the season is the match stats. Plugging in a brand new tactic, 18 shots to their 4, 69 possession to their 31 possession, and that is just game number 1. Absolute domination. And in game 2, we carried on that fantastic form, beating Eibar 4-1 away from home with a brace from Ansu Fati and a brace from Fermin. Now, I have mentioned this guy is going to grow into one of the best players in the game, and already to start the season, 2 games, 4 goals, and 1 assist. He's been playing in this shadow striker role, started him off the bench, and eventually it's going to be so hard to drop him. He is absolutely ridiculous in the match engine. And when the other 2 goals he scored came in this 4-3 victory over Celta Vigo. 67% possession, 19 shots, 12 on target, a 3.47 XG. In this game, it was my first game testing out the more aggressive attacking Hansi Flick tactics. And you can see it is aggressive. We conceded 3 goals, but we outscored them. The major difference is we changed the anchor to a volante. So we have a very aggressive midfielder next to the DLP and a wing back on both sides rather than the fullback. But some point throughout the video, we will go through the tactics that you can get over on that Patreon link down below. But a fantastic result to finish off the month of August. There was no other outgoings, no other incomings. And in terms of the league, 3 games, 3 wins, 6 goal difference, 9 points. Atletico Madrid starting the season very well, 4-4, beating Sevilla, San Sebastian, Getafe and Girona. Some very good teams in there and haven't conceded a single goal. I dismissed them at the start of the season. Maybe I was wrong to do so. And that's because we're going to actually show a little bit of fragility. We are going to go and beat Valenciano 3-0 away from home. Again, the youngsters scoring a brace from Fati and a goal from Fermin. But we then lost 1-0 at home to Mallorca while having 22 shots. and followed that up with a 1-1 draw away from home against Las Palmas. And in both of these games, we used the more aggressive 4-2-3-1 tactic, and it hasn't quite got into scoring lots of goals and made us a little bit more fragile. So I'm going to do some tweaking to that, so by the end of the season, it is going to be a good tactic. And I am very confident we'll be able to do that as well, because when I plug in the standard Hansi Flick tactic, we are absolutely insane. A great ball there from Kempi to find Victor Roque at the back stick, make it 1-0. Firmino then whips the ball into Robert Lewandowski to make things 2-0. We're showing our dominant side in just 15 minutes here against Real Espalas. Lewandowski steals again to make things 3-0. They are going to grab a goal back through some pretty nice build-up play being opened up in the middle as the centre-back did get a bit aggressive. We are in a fully gegenpress system, so expect that to happen a few times. Lewandowski, another header at the front stick, making it 4-0, and a penalty to grab his 4th goal of the game in a very good 5-1 victory. And again, the standard 4-2-3-1 tactic proving to be much better than the attacking one. Obviously, the attacking one maybe isn't the one to start with currently, but moving into it mid-game could be the play. 24 shots against their 4, 64% possession, an absolute demolition. And then we played against Real Madrid, and I tried to use the more defensive one, and we ended up just getting pretty much battered. They had more shots than us, we had more possession, but we lost 3-1. A brace from Rodrigo, a goal from Bellingham, and for us, a goal from Joshua Kimmich. Now, this one is quite a lot more defensive, and maybe too defensive for a team like Barcelona. So again, I will be tweaking it to making it absolute perfect for you guys at the end. But just more and more dropped points, as we also dropped points at home to Atletico Pamplona. We did beat Athletic Bilbao thanks to a 92nd minute Gavi goal away from home, and then dropped some more points against Leganes. A pretty shocking couple of months of football here, and we have got one final game where we absolutely destroyed Getafe. Lewandowski with a hat-trick, a goal from Fati, a goal from Ilkay Gundogan. But overall in the league, we have fallen quite some way off Atletico Madrid, and we've played an extra game. 7 points in total. They are having an unbelievable season, 10 wins and 1 draw. I'm actually not sure if we're going to be able to catch them. So this isn't going to be the 2-horse race I thought it was going to be. It's going to be the 3-horse race, because Real Madrid also can't catch them. So maybe it's not going to be a race at all, and Atletico Madrid are going to run away with the league. We have also started our Champions League campaign as well. And our first game in that came right in the middle of that poor run of form, and we ended up drawing 1-0 away from home from Fenerbahce. And then we faced up against Xabi Alonso's wonderful Bayer Leverkusen side, and showed that, again, there is, you know, some spells in games that we are fantastic. It took us to the 70th minute to get the first goal in this game, but within just 5, we're 2-0 up, and then 5 minutes later, in the 90th minute, we were 3-0 up, and there is also going to be a 4th as we chucked everyone forward just to try and just get our goal difference better in the Champions League. Eventually, Vitor Roque poking at home, and then lost again against Bayern Munich, this time 2-1 away from home, but just not quite good enough. So not only is the league, we're in 3rd place in the league phase, we are in the knockout playoff round places, and we've got a long way to go to make this team better. Now, in terms of the stand-up performers so far, Lewandowski is absolutely smashing it as expected, but I'm so impressed by Firmino. 6 goals and 3 assists in Cam. Unbelievable. Ansu Fati's come back from Brighton, a new man as well. He's progressing so nicely and looks absolutely fantastic. Gavi also doing brilliant, and Vitor Roque, when coming off the bench, has also been fantastic. In terms of average rating, though, it is our summer signing, Joshua Kimmich, with 13 assists in 15 games and a 7.38. being absolutely fantastic. He works wonderfully well in a Hansi Flick system, and he's showing that exactly here today. There is someone that you've not seen much of at all, and it's this man, Lamine Yamal. And that's because he got a big old injury. He ended up with a, a broken ankle. He's been out for 3 weeks currently in an under-21s match against Israel back in October. And that's going to keep him out for a long time as well, because he's also had a calf strain from the 5th of September. Literally come back and a day later broke his ankle. He's not having the most luck, and he's going to be out for another 7 weeks to 3 months. Lamine Yamal is not going to have the breakout year we hoped, so it's lucky for us we have got Firmino, who is having that breakout season. And from here out, we were looking to fix the tactics and get back to winning ways, so we kicked it off with a 2-1 victory against Valladolid. a 1-0 against Alaves, a 2-0 against Villarreal, and a 1-0 away from home against Girona, conceding 1 goal in 4 games, winning every single one, and putting ourselves back into some sort of contention with Atletico Madrid, even though they are still unbeaten after 14 games. We have played 2 more games with them, but only 2 points away, and starting to put that pressure on. We are ahead of Real Madrid regardless of the games they go and win. We'll be ahead by 1 point. So we are back being the second team in Spain. But it's not even Real Madrid at the front, so we have to go and challenge Atletico Madrid and carry on this form, which is exactly what we've done. Away from home against San Sebastian, a very good 2-1 victory with goals from Pedri and Firmino yet again, before a simply fantastic performance at home to Sevilla. Firmino showing that quality yet again on the edge of the box in just 12 minutes, making it 1-0. Pedri then found Firmino yet again to the right-hand side, whipping it in, and Ansu Fati was there from close range to make it 2-0 at the half-time whistle. Marcos Alonso, an unbelievable free kick to make it 3-0. We then drive to the left-hand side, finds Fati yet again. He gets it into Matias Arezzo. It falls through, and Firmino is there to poke home for 4-0. Sevilla are going to show they have a little bit of quality about them, and they're going to grab a 4-1. So on the edge of the box, smashing it into the top corner past Ter Stegen. But yeah, we had to get the last laugh. A 5-1 is incoming. Alejandro Balde, a great ball to Ansu Fati. A lovely first-time cross into Matias Arezzo, and 5-1. And we are starting to finally tick. In this game, we had only 11 shots, but scored 5 of our 7 on target, and we're becoming clinical, and the youngsters were playing some unbelievable football, with Firmino there grabbing 2 goals, an assist, and a 10 average rating. And up next was Atletico Madrid away from home, still unbeaten in the league. Well, that was until Pedri scored in 14 minutes. Or was it still going to be unbeaten? As Atletico Madrid come back down the other end, Antoine Griezmann on the ball finds Memphis Depay. He chips it past Ter Stegen, and it stays as 1-1, and the game finishes there. They are still a very, very tough team to beat. 1-1 away from home, though. Certainly not a bad result. We followed that up with a dominating 3-0 victory against Eibar with 70% possession and 23 shots. And then, of course, drop points away from home this time, though, against Valencia. Not the end of the world, quite a good side. But a game I'd have liked to have won, but it did end up dropping points. And that was the last time throughout the rest of January, as a 2-0 victory away against Vigo, followed up by a 5-0 smashing of Valenciano. You thought 70% possession was impressive? Well, how about 74%? 23 shots, a 4.75 XG, a hat-trick for Lewandowski, goals from Koundé and Andreas Christensen. And we really are developing these tactics into being some of the best in the game. Over in the top division of Spain, we are now back at the top of the table. Atletico Madrid, well, they have just fallen off just a little bit. As we check out the schedule, it has not been a very good time for them. Losses against Girona, losses there against Sevilla, draws against San Sebastian. So we are on the top of the world, and we are on the top of the Spanish league. Real Madrid as well, not having a great season. A whole host of points off, 7 away. Athletic Bilbao in 3rd place, but very happy to be back at the top of the table. And I think it's time I show you these tactics, because they are now sort of settled in to being, I think, their final version. From here to the end of the season, we are going to go on a fantastic run of form. Now, we start off with the standard Hansi flick formation. I'm going to click through things so you can see them on the screen. They are absolutely fantastic. And as mentioned, they are available over on Patreon, based in the link down below. A massive thank you to the legends running down screen right now. They're going to get their hands on these fantastic, and you should too. There is over 200 people over on Patreon signed up, helping support myself, and you can join them over there as well. It costs just £5 a month to get access to the tactics, and of course the rebuild file as well, so you can get a whole host of stuff, and you will want to get it as well, because it is going to be a great summer of fun here on FM. We aren't stopping here. Every single video we do, once you sign up to the Patreon, you get access to, and you can carry on making fun saves, carry on using very fun, fantastic tactics. And as we carry on doing these realistic one-season rebuilds, you can pick up from me and see if you can do better with the tactics I have made. And obviously message me on Discord, and if you have done better, or even on Patreon, if you have done better, then show me, and I'll, have a little look at some of your saves as well. Now, obviously, we have also got, well, in terms of the instructions, I'll just show them as well. Very decent in possession, very aggressive, very fast, very counter-aggressive in terms of the press as well. A high line and a high press system getting stuck in. In terms of the attacking tactic, the only real changes is the right back goes to wing back on support. We make a volante on the left-hand side as well. And again, a few extra tweaks here. We got overlapping in terms of things there. Again, high aggression, getting stuck in, being very, very quick on the aggression. And finally, the defensive tactics, we do change actually quite a lot. A pressing forward up front rather than an advanced forward. Inside forward on the left, inverted winger on the right. DLP goes to defensive, and the left-hand side wing back goes into a fullback. We make things a little bit shorter, still the same speed, but a bit more disciplined in our approach. Playing our defense, still focusing on the wings, passing it into space, counter press, no longer distributing quickly, just slowing the game down ever so slightly. But we're not going to get rid of that gegenpress style, because that is the Hansi Flick way, to gegenpress teams to absolute mud. But we've concentrated so far on the league a little bit. We have let go of the Champions League, so let's have a look at how we've done over there. We have to go way back to November to see our games against Aston Villa, and this was a 0-0 draw, followed up by a 1-0 victory over Liverpool, thanks to a goal from our German wonder kid Noah Darvic hitting the bicey. We then faced up against Juventus away from home, another team we are doing soon in the one-season rebuild, and we absolutely smashed them. Pedri goal and a Danilo own goal, but dominating on shots and possession, a convincing victory. We then did drop a couple of points against AS Monaco, which left us just outside of the top 8. And even after an absolute battering of Rangers with a 5-2 victory, we had not finished in the top 8, just in 11th place. 8 games, 4 wins, 3 draws, just too many of them, and just the 1 loss against Bayern Munich. But only 2 points away. That win against Monaco would have got us into the top 8 on goal difference ahead of Atletico Madrid. So sadly, we're going to the knockout playoff round before we get to the round of 16, which is a little bit frustrating. Has that been drawn yet? It has. We are against Bayer Leverkusen. Great. That should be great fun, and to see if we can win that one. In terms of the Spanish Cup as well, we have started this. I think we start in the second round. No, we don't. We start in the third round, sorry. We faced up against Gorinkia. We won that 2-1 using a fully rotated side. And in the 4th round, we are playing up against Oviedo as well. So still on for the domestic double. We did get knocked out in the Spanish Super Cup by Real Madrid. I believe this game was 2-1. We lost on penalties, actually, so even more frustrating. But I honestly don't really mind about the Spanish Super Cup. We are here for the Spanish Cup, the Spanish First Division, and the Champions League. So let's see if we can carry on this amazing run of form in all competitions and see if we can lift some trophies. Well, just 2 games to look at in the month of March here in the league. Number 1, a 3-1 victory against Las Palmas. And number 2, a 1-1 draw away from home against Real Espadas, which makes Atletico Madrid back to the top of the table. We have got a game in hand, but even with that, we are level on points. So it is a real battle to win the Spanish First Division. And I mean, the Spanish Cup isn't proving that easy either, as this time away from home against Real Oviedo, a 93rd minute goal from Ansu Fati bails us out, and we go to the quarters, where we just scraped past Atletico Pamplona on penalties. I mean, we did use quite a rotated side of the likes of Mika Faye, Marcos Alonso, Noah Darvic coming into the side, but lucky enough to win. Even Gundogan missed a penalty as well, which is absolutely shocking. But we're through to the semis, but a much more difficult round than I expected. We have now, though, got the Champions League against Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen. And well, this was going to be difficult from minute 1, and Jules Koundé on the right-hand side did get us off to a good start, a goal from Robert Lewandowski, but then Firmino got injured, and Bayer Leverkusen came back. Frimpong a ball to the edge of the box to Schick, to Xhaka, to Grimaldo, and 1-1 away from home. And were we going to struggle without our creative genius Firmino in the home leg? Well, Balde made it so it was less likely to happen. Finally, a goal for Lamine Yamal. He is finally back from that broken ankle injury, and we should now see if he can progress. But is it going to be in the Champions League? An own goal from Ilkay Gundogan makes it 1-1 before Noah Darvic finds Balde. A ball into Ansu Fati, beats his man, and it goes across for 2-1. We have the upper hand until Victor Boniface finds Florian Wirtz, drives past. Does he? No, he doesn't. He gets absolutely destroyed at the end. It falls to Boniface, and it's 2-2, and the game goes to penalties. Boniface scores the first, Lewandowski misses and Mati Kovar saves. We are losing on penalties currently. Tapsoba scores. Vitor Roque scores from the spot. Grimaldo scores from the spot. Bayer Leverkusen don't look like missing. Neither do we at the moment. Marcos Alonso scores. Florian Wirtz scores. And in classic FM fashion, I just know it's not going to show that last penalty in which we missed. Noah Darvic misses. And we are knocked out in the Champions League in the knockout playoff round. Now, that's not what I was looking for this season. I was looking for a much better game. We absolutely dominated in 90 minutes, 15 shots to their 3. They obviously had much more possession, but couldn't break us down. But sadly, we are out the Champions League. Is there anyone thinking these videos are always going to be sunshine and roses? Not quite the case, because that was up against a 10th place currently, Bayer Leverkusen, a team that, obviously, in real life last season, absolutely smashed it. Going into this season, FM predicts they're going to massively fall off, but the Bayern Munich still won't win the league, which would be absolutely hilarious. But on our own thing, we are no longer in the Champions League. It is just the Spanish Cup and just the Spanish First Division we have got to compete with. So can we get the domestic double in Flick's first season in charge? Well, we will concentrate on the Spanish Cup first of all. And against Las Palmas, after Rabada from Sandro, Javi Munoz puts them 1-0 up. But Marcos Alonso finds Araujo at the back stick to make it 1-0 away over at Las Palmas. Cabrasi in centre-back finds Kimmich, a great one at the top. Yamal heads it on, and Matteo Rezo with a first-time volley to make it 2-1. And we are going to grab a third as well to make us firm favourites in this two-legged affair. And this was another fantastic game as well. Firmino back from that injury in the Champions League found Lamine Yamal at the back stick to make it 1-0. And we do make it 2 to win 5-1 in aggregate and setting up a final against Real Madrid. And well, this game was played at the end of April, and we'll show you the league form up unto this. But we are facing up against one of the best teams in the world, and Araujo got us off to a great start before a very unlucky Balde deflection and an own goal took us all the way to penalties. We've had penalty heartbreaks once. Can we not do it again? Bellingham scores. Kimmich scores for us. Vinicius Jr. steps up and scores. Ilkay Gundogan missed last time but doesn't miss this time. Brahim scores past to Stegen. Vitor Roque scores past Courtois. It's looking like neither team wants to miss. Rafa Marin scores for them. Marcos Alonso scores for us. He is so good from the spot. And Thomas Partey, well, he is the man to miss. And we do win the penalty shootout. The last one scored by Ansu Fati. And we are Spanish Cup final champions. So regardless of how this goes, is it a success? Even if we don't win the league, definitely not. We have to win the league as well, given our pretty stinky performance in the Champions League. But it does mean it is not a trophy this season, and Barcelona have a trophy with Hansi Flick. But how are we going to do in the league? Can we make it the domestic double? We kicked it off with a 5-1 victory against Atletico Pamplona, a brace from Firmino, who just carries on scoring goals. But this was before one of our hardest games of the run-in against Athletic Bilbao. And this was one of the 3 games I was worried about. We had to play Bilbao, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid on the final day of the season, and while after Firmino got off to a great start in 20 minutes, I was confident we were going to win this one until Sevilla grabbed a goal back to make it 1-1, but Enguer with a long-range effort just getting it past to Stegen, but we did reply, a second coming from us and the 3 points coming back to Catalonia, a great one at the top, and Pedri fires home. We followed that up with a dominating 4-0 victory against Mallorca, a 5-0 against Valladolid with goals from Vitor Roque, Mika Fai and a brace from Pau Cabrasi, before dropping 2 vital points away from home against Leganes thanks to an 89th minute goal from Daniel Gonzalez. And up next was Real Madrid again. And this was at the Nou Camp as well, so we couldn't lose. Well, David Alaba made it so there was a chance. Lamine Yamal then whipped it across to the back stick. It eventually falls into Christensen to make it 1-1, and that counter-pressing Gegenpress system worked an absolute dream. A lovely little tee off there from Lewandowski to find Gavi to make it 2-1, and that was the game as we beat Real Madrid and we get our stranglehold on the First Division of Spain. We then beat Alaves 3-0 away from home before another fantastic 5-0 victory against Villarreal again and again. That man Firmino with a brace, 17 goals in 38 games, a 7.28 average rating. As mentioned, this guy genuinely has turned into one of my favourite players I've ever used on FM. I've never used him before. I'd never seen him be good at all. This season, he has been absolutely outrageous. 17 goals from Cam. I don't know if it's the system, if it's him, but he is him, and he is absolutely fantastic. And it's worth mentioning as well, Ansu Fati has stepped up in that left wing position after selling Rafinha and Ferran Torres to gauge money for that man, Joshua Kimmich. Fati had to step up in that left wing position, and he has 19 goals in 38 games, a 7.18 average rating. And that man that we did put all of our money into, Joshua Kimmich, has got 22 assists in 46 games and a 7.17 average rating. I think it's fair to say we mudded the club to get him, but what a signing he has been. And we finished the month off with a 2-0 against Girona, a backstick cross and Ansu Fati heading past Gazzaniga in goal and Lewandowski from the spot. And that put us 4 points clear at the top of the Spanish First Division. 62 goal difference, 82 points with 4 games to go at Atletico Madrid in the final game of the season. Could we stay strong and lift our trophy back? Well, we beat Getafe 3-1, Real San Sebastian 3-2, and then drew 1-1 with Sevilla. And after all 3 games being won by Atletico Madrid, it means this game comes down to the final day of the season in a battle against Atletico Madrid. One of the biggest games of our season, or the biggest game of the season. Luckily, we're at home at the new camp. And what is going to start the move and is going to finish it as well. Lamine Yamal with a fantastic finish from the edge of the box, made it 1-0 and the only goal in a game against Atletico Madrid, which means the title has come back to Catalonia and come back to Barcelona. 92 points, 28 wins, 8 draws and just 2 losses throughout the entire season against Real Madrid and a 1-0 against Mallorca. I think it's safe to say these free Hansi Flick tactics, you need to get your hands on the Patreon down below. They are absolutely fantastic, and overall the team as well was brilliant. What we've done this season, utilising the youth academy players, was like I've not done anything on FM before. Lewandowski, fantastic, of course, but Ansu Fati, Firmino, Pedri was decent, but not great. Lamine Yamal, when he got back from injury, 6 goals, 6 assists, a 7 average rating. Vitor Roque, as a rotational winger / striker, was good as well. 22 assists for Kimmich. İlkay Gundogan was pivotal in DM. And in terms of assists as well, Alejandro Balde, 10 assists down that left flank, becoming one of the best left backs in world football. I am so impressed by Firmino, it's ridiculous. Lamine Yamal, of course, is fantastic. Gavi as a cam was good as well, but massively overshadowed by Firmino, who throughout the season just took that cam spot to be his own. Noah Darvic was very good, 20 off the bench, 13 starts, 2 and 3. Mika 5, 15 games, 13 off the bench. Pau Cabrasi, 10 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, and then 7.10, also good. Matias Arezzo, not the worst starting, to be honest. 7 games he played, 6 off the bench, 3 goals, scored some absolute screamers as well. And Hector 4, again, was fairly decent. Our best player this season was that man Firmino, a 7.29, followed by Balde, and then our signing, Joshua Kimmich. Thank you for watching this Barcelona 1-season rebuild with Hansi Flick. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.